This is Don Magruder from Around the House, and today we're going to show you how to replace that tired old worn out steel door unit with a new ThermoTrue Smooth Star fiberglass door with frame saver jambs that will save you a lot of time and money. As you can see, this old steel door unit's just about had it. The stiles on the door have rotten away because of moisture. A lot of dings in the door from kicking it. We're starting to see some surface rust. This is old technology for an exterior door. Let me show you the door we're going to replace here today. This is a ThermoTrue Smooth Star fiberglass door with frame saver jambs. These doors won't ding, they won't rust, and they're highly resistant to weather. More importantly, the inside stiles are treated to prevent the rot you saw on the old door. Below is a 6 to 8 inch frame saver area that doesn't allow wicking and rotten jambs. Plus we've got a brand new outswing threshold that will prevent all the little critters that's currently going inside the garage. This is a great door and one that's very popular in the state of Florida. Just about as important in installing the door, you have to have great installers. We have two great installers doing this project today. We have Chuck Shoup, who has over 40 years of experience in woodworking and door installations, and Mark Dusky, who comes with us with 25 years of woodworking and door installation. These two guys are the best. So we've got the best door, the best installers, and this should give you great information on how to replace your door. We've got a permit because in the state of Florida, anytime you replace a door or window in the envelope of the house, you have to get a permit and it's subject to inspection. The first thing we're going to do, we've got to remove the old door itself. There's two ways of doing it. You either can knock the pins out or you can remove the hinges. We're choosing to remove the hinges because the pins have rusted in place. Next, we're going to score the outside and inside edges of the door so that when the frame is removed, it will not tear the paint away. This is very important if you don't want to have to go back and repaint a large area. Our next step, we're going to actually remove the interior trim. Now, if you have a block home and you have exterior brick mold, you'll do that at the same time. Now we have to remove the weather strip because behind the weather strip are the screws that anchor the frame to the house. Sometimes you have to remove the latch screws because with special deadbolts, they use an extra long screw. Now that all the screws have been removed, we're going to collapse the legs and remove the old frame. On a block home, you utilize bucking, which is used to install the door. At this point, we're going to check the bucking and clean all the debris away and prepare it for a new door. What we're installing today is a 3068 door unit. That's 36 inches by 80 inches. We have a special hinge so it prevents someone from tampering with the hinge in the middle, and it's also a left-hand door, and the best way to determine what hand the door is, get to the side that swings to you, and then wherever the doorknob is, that's a left hand. So I'm on this side, it swings to me, that's a left-hand door. The first thing we've got to do is check the slab to make sure it's level. It's not uncommon to have an unlevel slab, and tell us if we're going to need to raise the door on one side or another. Next, we're going to prepare the door to be installed, and we're going to have to drill pilot holes so that we can strategically place tap cons through the door jamb into the bucking wall so that it's properly attached based on Florida hurricane code. Check manufacturer installation instructions to verify where you need to place your tap cons. We're using a counter bore drill bit so that when we put our tap cons in, the tap con head will recess and make a nice finished opening. At this point, Mark's going to finish his pilot hole by going all the way through the jamb. The next step is we're going to apply a great water shield caulk to prevent water from coming underneath the door. And we're probably going to have to caulk that far corner just a little bit. It's about an 1/8 inch off from the slab. At this point, we're going to measure the opening one more time and make sure that the sizes are appropriate for our new door. We're going to tip the door in so we don't smear the adhesive at the bottom. We're going to center the door frame within the opening to make sure that the brick mold and other molding is appropriately measured on each side. At this point, you're probably going to have to attach one of the top screws so that you can finish plumbing and leveling the door. We're going to use a hammer drill to drill a pilot hole in the block so that we can anchor our Tapcons into the block. We're going to install a 3/16 by 3 1/4 Tapcon that will go through the jamb and into the block directly. Continue to plumb and level the door, and we're going to utilize shims to make sure that you do not draw your screws in too tight, throwing the plumb off. At this point, Chuck is going to check the reveal to make sure that the crack between the door and the jamb is completely equal all the way around. We said earlier that the slab was just a little unlevel, so what Chuck is going to do, he's going to install a small composite shim underneath the edge of the jamb to lift it up slightly, and that way the shim will not rot and it will level the door out. It is required in the state of Florida that we put a Tapcon through the hinge, so we're attaching the door frame directly to the block. This will prevent sagging. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to install all the Tapcons in the corners to ensure the door is plumb and level. Then we'll finalize the process of installing every Tapcon. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the weather strip from the door unit so that we can ensure the door is evenly going to meet the jamb. The very last thing we're going to do on attaching Tapcons, we've got to put one more Tapcon in the top hinge, and then we're going to put 2 Tapcons in the center hinge. Once again, this is meeting Florida code and installation instructions. Now that all the Tapcons have been installed, Chuck's going to check the reveal one more time to make sure everything looks good. Plus, he's going to check to make sure the jamb is plumb and level. The next step is we're going to attach the threshold to the concrete, and we're going to do it by removing the weather strip from the threshold, and then we will drill pilot holes using our hammer drill. After the threshold's been installed, we're going to reinstall the weather strip, and then we're going to go around the door and cut away the excess shims that protrude beyond the jambs. After we've cut the shims away, reinstall the brick mold on the exterior of the door. Because we're installing a door that will not rot or rust, we're using a PVC brick mold, and we've ripped it to make sure it fits block opening. To attach our brick mold, we're using a galvanized 2-inch finishing nail. You want to be careful that your brick mold doesn't encroach into the reveal of the door. After we install the brick mold, we're going to put a good quality exterior caulk between the brick mold and the block to prevent water intrusion. We're now going to reattach the interior molding. The last part of our installation, we're going to reinstall the locks, but instead of using the old ones, we're going to use some quick set smart key locks that can be rekeyed to match the owner's current locks. As you can see, we're going to have another happy homeowner with this ThermoTrue Smooth Star insulated fiberglass door. For more information on ThermoTrue doors, check them out on their website at thermotrue.com.